Okay, so have you ever heard about like this idea
Mm.
that you could draw your future love?
Wow.
Like actually draw them and then they would appear.
Hmm.
Like that sounds pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's out there.
But we we had to do a deep dive on
Of
this.
course, yeah.
Like when we saw this psychic love experiment idea,
Yeah.
we were like, okay, we got to see what this is about.
Had to check it out.
Yeah. So it got us thinking like, what if our subconscious
Right.
already knows who we're going to end up with?
Yeah.
And like, what if this drawing thing is a
Yeah.
way to kind of tap into that?
Yeah, like bring it out somehow.
Right. So basically, you take like some time to chill,
Okay.
clear your head, and you just draw like the face of whoever you imagine you'll be with
Okay.
long term,
Okay.
future partner.
Gotcha.
And the really trippy part is that you like put the drawing away. You don't look at it, forget about it.
Okay.
And then like way later,
Oh, wow.
maybe months, maybe years later, you pull it out when you're actually in a serious relationship.
Interesting.
And the big question is, does it look like them?
Whoa.
Like, is there any resemblance to your actual partner?
Wow, that would be.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, you don't have to be a good artist.
Right.
It's not about that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's more about just letting your intuition guide you.
Intuition, yeah.
Just going with the flow, you know?
Absolutely. And I think what's so intriguing is that
Yeah.
you don't need to be like Da Vinci.
Totally.
Like it's more about you and
Yeah.
and what your gut's telling you.
Yeah, and what if it's like you're not even good at drawing faces, but what if you're good at
Right.
capturing the energy or something?
Right. Yeah, that essence.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, are you tapping into
Yes.
like a deeper awareness?
Exactly. Or is it like picking up on something
Yeah.
that you haven't even realized you're attracted to?
Like a pattern. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, like a pattern in your relationships. You know, it makes you think,
Right. It's like those people who always date the same
yes.
type of person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Same kind of person over and over again.
Yeah. And what if this drawing is like a way to be like, oh,
Uh-huh.
okay, this is the pattern.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And this actually like brings up some even deeper stuff.
Oh, really?
Our sources talked about this guy, Carl Jung,
Yeah.
and his theory of synchronicity.
Yeah, I heard of that.
So synchronicity, it's like those moments where
Uh-huh.
something happens and it feels super meaningful, like it was meant to be, even if
Yeah.
there's no logical reason.
Like fate.
Exactly. Like, is this drawing thing a form of that?
Mm.
Is it like a meaningful coincidence
Right.
that we could potentially create?
It's like we're putting it out there.
Yeah. And then there's also like
Yeah.
the brain science side of it.
Okay, the neuroscience part.
Yeah, like apparently when you visualize something really strongly.
Right. It actually like fires up similar neurons in your brain
Wow.
as when you actually see it.
That's wild.
So it's like, what if by drawing this person, you're actually kind of like,
Putting it into the universe.
yes, putting it out there,
Wow.
solidifying it in your mind somehow.
Yeah.
And maybe that makes it more likely to actually happen.
Manifest it. Right.
Right.
That's so interesting.
So like this whole thing is basically making us question
Yeah.
how our inner world connects to what happens in our lives.
Totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's what we're diving into today.
Love it.
We're going to walk you through how to do this experiment,
Right.
share some crazy stories about people who've tried it,
Okay.
and then we're going to break it down from both the psychological and the maybe slightly more out there perspective.
Right. Look at all sides of it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So ultimately, like, we just want you to think about
Yeah.
what this experiment could potentially tell you about what you truly want in a partner, whether or not your drawing looks like them in the end.
Right. Because it's not just about
Right.
the physical resemblance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about the whole process and what it reveals.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's say you're intrigued and you want to try this.
Okay.
Our sources actually have a step-by-step guide
Perfect.
for how to do your own psychic love experiment.
Cool. Yeah.
So think of it like you're going on a little adventure
Yeah.
into the mysteries of your own heart.
All right. I like it.
Okay, so first things first, you got to gather your supplies.
Okay. What do I need?
It's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
You'll need a blank piece of paper
Got it.
and something to draw with, whatever you like best.
Okay. So pen, pencil,
Yeah, exactly. Markers, crayons, colored pencils,
whatever my heart desires.
whatever feels right. Just
Yep.
make sure it's something
Got it.
that you feel comfortable expressing yourself with.
Makes sense.
Okay. And then you're also going to want to find a quiet spot where you can just be alone for like at least 30 minutes.
All right. So no distractions.
Yeah, exactly. No phone, no kids, no pets.
Okay, quiet space. Got it.
And last but not least, make sure you have an envelope.
Okay.
Or a way to save your masterpiece digitally.
Right, so I can tuck it away.
Yeah. And a journal or notepad could be helpful too.
To jot down any thoughts.
Exactly. Any feelings that come up during the process.
Okay, I like it.
So, all right, you've got your stuff. You're in your quiet place.
Ready to go.
Now it's time to actually draw.
Okay.
So the first step is really setting the scene.
Okay.
Find that peaceful spot.
Uh-huh.
Get comfy, maybe light a candle.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, make it feel special.
Like a ritual.
Exactly. And then once you're settled in,
Okay.
our sources suggest starting with a little meditation.
Yeah.
Just like 5 to 10 minutes
Yeah.
of focusing on your breath.
So just breathing in.
Yeah, just breathing in and out.
Okay.
And really trying to clear your mind.
Like just quiet the mental chatter.
Exactly. Let all those thoughts just kind of float away.
Right. Get into that calm space.
Yeah, you want to be in a relaxed and receptive state.
Okay, makes sense.
Then once you feel a little more centered,
Uh-huh.
it's time to set your intention.
Okay. How do we do that?
So basically, you're just kind of putting this thought out there.
Okay.
You can say it out loud or just think it to yourself. But basically, you're saying something like,
Okay.
I am open to understanding who my future partner might be.
Okay. I am open to understanding who my future partner might be.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of like putting that request out to the universe.
Right, setting the state.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, for the really interesting part, the visualization.
Okay, here we go.
So this is where you picture yourself in the future,
Okay.
happy and in love.
Got it.
Just kind of imagine that feeling of being in a fulfilling relationship.
Okay.
And just relax and let a face kind of naturally come to mind.
So I shouldn't try to force it.
No, don't force it.
Just let it come naturally.
Yeah. Exactly. Just kind of observe what pops into your head. And
Yeah.
it might be like a really clear image.
Okay.
Or it might be more like a fleeting impression.
Gotcha.
Like you might get a sense of their hair color or the shape of their eyes.
Right, or like their energy.
Yeah. Or their smile, anything like that.
Okay.
And if nothing comes right away, that's totally fine.
Okay, so no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Just be patient with yourself.
Just trust the process.
Yeah. And as soon as you have like even a glimpse of a face,
Oh,
that's when you start drawing.
okay.
And remember, it's not about making a perfect portrait.
Right. I'm not trying to win an art prize.
Exactly. It's more about just capturing
Yeah.
those key features that stand out to you.
So like if I really notice their eyes.
Yeah, like if their eyes are really striking, or maybe they have a unique nose,
Right.
or a certain way their mouth curves when they smile.
Okay, so whatever stands
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Just go with what feels right.
Just let my hand flow.
Yeah, and don't judge yourself. Don't overthink it.
Got it.
And as you're drawing, or right when you're finished,
Mm-hmm.
it can be super helpful to jot down any thoughts or feelings.
Oh, okay. So like in my journal.
Yeah, maybe you're getting like a sense of their personality.
Okay.
Or maybe you feel a certain emotion while you're drawing.
Uh-huh.
Just write it all down.
So it could be like, oh, I feel a sense of warmth from this person.
Exactly. Or they seem really adventurous.
Right.
Anything like that.
Okay, cool.
Because those little details could be just as important
Got it.
as the drawing itself.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. And the final step is the most important.
Okay. The grand finale.
You gotta hide the drawing.
Hide it. Okay.
Yeah, like put it somewhere you won't stumble upon it.
So like in a shoebox in the back of my closet.
Perfect. Or like seal it in that envelope
Okay.
and put it in a drawer you never open.
Got it.
Or, if you took a picture of it,
Yeah.
save it in a folder on your computer that you never go into. The point is to like totally forget about it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly, until you're actually in that serious relationship.
Wow, I love this.
Okay, so I know this all sounds kind of far out there,
Yeah, a little bit.
but to make it more real,
Uh-huh.
we wanted to share some stories
Okay.
of people who have tried this kind of thing.
I'm all ears.
And like some of these are seriously mind-blowing.
Wait on me.
So the first one is Sophia.
Okay.
So she drew this guy with like super curly hair and glasses.
Okay, pretty specific.
Right. And then 3 years later, she meets this guy, David, at a conference.
Okay.
And when she finally digs out her old drawing,
Mm-hmm.
the resemblance is like undeniable.
No way.
Yeah, right down to like the specific curl pattern
Wow.
and the style of glasses he wore.
That's crazy.
I know, right?
What else you got?
Okay, so then there's this other guy, Marcus.
Okay.
He drew a woman with like this really unique smile.
Okay.
She had a gap between her front teeth,
Okay.
and he totally forgot about the drawing. Uh-huh.
Until his sister found it while they were moving.
Okay.
And she immediately was like,
What?
that looks exactly like your girlfriend.
No way. Get out.
Right. And they've been dating for like 6 months at that
So
point.
she was like, bro, you drew your girlfriend.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's wild.
Right. I love it.
Okay, and this last one is maybe the most bizarre.
Okay, I'm ready.
So this person, Taylor,
Okay.
they didn't draw like super clear facial features,
Uh-huh.
but they did include this like very unique birthmark
Okay.
on the person's neck.
Okay.
And get this, years later,
Yeah.
their current partner has an almost identical birthmark
No way.
in the exact same spot.
That's wild.
And Taylor had totally forgotten about drawing it.
So they just like rediscovered this drawing.
Yeah, and they were like, oh my God.
Whoa.
It's like those little specific details that make you wonder.
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, I drew a person.
Right.
It's like I drew this very particular thing.
Yeah, like what are the chances?
Exactly. What are the chances?
So obviously these stories are pretty amazing.
Yeah, they're really cool.
But, we also have to consider
Right.
the more skeptical side of things.
Right. The science.
Yeah, like what does psychology have to say about all this?
Exactly. Like, are we just tricking ourselves?
Right, so our sources actually lay out a few different explanations.
Okay, fire away.
So the first one is confirmation bias.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So basically it's our tendency to
Yeah.
notice and focus on things that confirm what we already believe.
Right, like we're looking for evidence.
Exactly, and we ignore the things that don't fit.
So it's like, if you're convinced the drawing matches,
Yeah.
you're going to find those similarities.
Yes, even if they're like tiny.
Right, and you're going to be like, aha, I knew it!
Exactly, and then there's this other thing called the Barnum effect.
Okay, the Barnum effect.
So it's also sometimes called the Forer effect.
Oh, okay, I haven't heard that one.
And it's basically this idea that we tend to
Okay.
think that vague personality descriptions are like super specific to us,
Oh, yeah.
even if they could apply to tons of people.
Like those horoscopes.
Exactly.
That could apply to anyone.
So like if your drawing is pretty general,
Right.
you might be more likely to see similarities
Yeah.
in just like anyone you meet.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then there's this other idea,
Yeah.
which is the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
So this one's a little trickier.
Okay.
But basically it means that if you have this mental image
Mm-hmm.
of your ideal partner,
Yeah.
you might unconsciously start acting
Mhm.
in ways that make it more likely to attract someone like that.
Okay, so you're kind of like
Oh, yeah.
putting out that energy.
Yeah. And maybe you're even interpreting people's actions in a way that fits your drawing.
Okay, so like you're kind of subconsciously
Right.
steering yourself towards that type.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's important to think about those things too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the excitement
Right.
and just be like, oh my God, it's fate.
It's magic.
Right. But then our sources also bring up some other, like, less conventional ideas.
Okay, the more out there stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that's harder to explain with just psychology.
Right.
So one of these is, like, intuitive recognition.
Okay, intuitive recognition.
Just basically, the idea is that maybe on a subconscious level,
Okay.
we can just kind of sense compatible qualities in others,
Okay.
like, before we even consciously realize it.
Like a gut feeling.
Yes, exactly like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And maybe this drawing thing is a way to kind of access that.
To like tap into that.
Yeah, like bring it to the surface.
Okay, interesting.
And then there's this other idea,
Okay.
which is psychic impressions.
Oh, psychic impressions. Okay.
So this is like the belief that some people might
Mhm.
be able to get information
Mhm.
about future events
Okay.
or people
Uh-huh.
through like different states of awareness.
So like through a meditative state or something?
Yeah, like maybe during this drawing exercise, they're somehow tapping into something beyond themselves.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that.
And then the most like, whoa idea
All right.
is quantum entanglement.
Oh, quantum entanglement. Wow.
So this is like next level stuff.
Yeah, that's getting pretty deep.
Yeah, it suggests that maybe consciousness
Uh-huh.
isn't limited by our normal ideas of like
Right.
time and space.
Yeah.
Like maybe your connection to your future partner
Uh-huh.
could already exist on some level,
Wow.
even if you haven't met them yet.
That's trippy.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to think about.
For sure.
But okay, let's say you're like, I'm doing this experiment.
Yeah.
Our sources actually have some good tips
Okay, cool.
on how to look at your results objectively.
Right, because you got to have a way to
Yeah,
compare and be like, was I right or not?
exactly. So the first tip is to create a comparison system.
Okay, a comparison system.
Yeah, so when you're actually in a serious relationship,
Uh-huh.
you take out your drawing and a picture of your partner, and you literally just make a list
Okay.
of things that are similar and things that are different.
Got it. So like side-by-side comparison.
Yeah, and try to be as specific as possible.
Okay.
And the next tip is to get some outside opinions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're all biased. Right?
Totally.
So show your drawing and your partner's picture from friends who don't know about the experiment.
Got it.
Just ask them if they see any resemblance.
Okay.
And try not to lead them.
Right. Don't be like, don't they have the same nose?
Exactly. Just let them say what they see.
Okay.
And another good tip is to actually rate the matches.
Okay. Like on a scale.
Yeah, you could create a little scale from 1 to 10 for different features.
Like their eyes, nose.
Yeah, and overall face shape.
Right.
And then just score how closely you think they match up.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a more concrete way to see the similarities.
Right.
And the last tip is to kind of keep track of how your perceptions might change over time. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because you might initially see similarities.
Right.
But then as you get to know your partner better, maybe those similarities become less obvious.
Right. Or maybe even more obvious.
Exactly. Or maybe new ones pop up.
Okay.
So just kind of keep a journal about that.
Track those thoughts over time.
Yeah, because it could be really revealing.
Okay. I like this.
And another thing to remember is that this experiment might be about more than just looks.
Oh, okay.
Like our sources talked about how maybe it's the emotional feeling. Or the vibe you capture in the drawing.
Yeah.
That's actually more important.
Yeah, so it might not be a perfect physical match.
Yeah, maybe you don't draw their exact mouth shape.
Right.
But the feeling you had while drawing them, like a sense of kindness or warmth, ends up being a core part of their personality.
Right, so it's like the essence you captured.
Exactly. And it makes you think could the drawing go beyond just the face? Yeah, could it be more symbolic?
Yeah. Our sources even suggest adding symbols or words to the drawing to represent qualities or values or the kind of energy you want in a relationship.
Okay, so not just looks, but
Right, maybe you draw a heart to represent love or a mountain to represent stability.
Right, or a sun for happiness.
Exactly.
I love that.
So yeah, as we wrap up this deep dive into the psychic love experiment.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has.
Lots to think about.
I think what's so fascinating is that it touches on so many different things, our potential for subconscious knowledge, those sneaky psychological biases, and the eternal mystery of attraction and love.
Exactly.
It's a perfect blend of science and mystery.
I love it.
Yeah, so whether you're a skeptic or you're open to the possibility of something more, I think this experiment gives you a really unique way to think about all of this.
Totally.
And I think a key takeaway is that even if your drawing never looks like someone you date, just the act of doing it can be really valuable.
Absolutely.
Because it forces you to think about what you actually want in a relationship.
Yeah.
And to get clear on your own needs and patterns.
It's a form of self-discovery.
Exactly.
Even if it's not predicting the future.
Right.
It's helping you understand yourself better.
Yeah. So here's a final thought.
Okay, hit me.
What if the real magic of this experiment isn't about predicting the future at all, but about deepening your connection to yourself right now?
Wow. I love that.
Maybe the real love story we're all seeking is the one where we finally understand what our hearts truly desire.
Beautiful. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think I'm going to go do this experiment right now.
I know, me too.
I'm so curious.
Me too.
What will my drawing reveal?
I know. It's exciting.
Thanks for this deep dive. It's been awesome.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
It really was.
All right. Until next time.
See ya.